Yo guys, so it's Runaway from itsrunaway.com and I'm back again with another video series. In this video series, I'm going to show you guys how to write an entire song from beginning to scratch. Song and not just beat, because we're going to go over vocals and writing down lyrics. This video is intended for absolute beginners, so if you have no prior experience in music production or songwriting, this video series is going to be for you. Now this may seem like a lot, so in order to get the task achieved, we're going to use a method called first principles thinking. Now what that is basically is it's breaking down a structure, the structure in this example, the song, down to its most fundamental components, to the point we can no longer do so. So, for example, say you have an essay. An essay is comprised of paragraphs. Those paragraphs are comprised of sentences, the sentences of words, and the words are comprised of letters. The letters are the most fundamental component of an essay because you can't break down a letter any further. So, when it comes to music, this is how I broke down music and this is how we're going to learn it. First, the most fundamental component is the tempo and rhythm. Then, the melody. Then the arrangement so that we can get a sense of progression. Then the harmony, which is basically the chords and the scales. The tools you're going to need are the following. You're going to need a DAW. Now, it doesn't have to be FL Studio, but I would recommend FL Studio so that when I dive into the more technical aspects, for example, like when I'm showing you guys which button does what, then it'll be easier to follow along. But again, you don't need to have FL Studio. You can use any DAW for that matter. You're going to need a means of recording yourself, whether through an XLR microphone or a USB microphone. But just keep in mind, if you're going to use an XLR microphone, you're going to need the preamp. So it might actually be a cheaper option to just go with a USB microphone. And USB microphones sound pretty good nowadays, so yeah. And you're going to need some headphones or earphones. Last but not least, I want to say that when it comes to making music, especially when we're using these systems, is that there's no one way of doing it. These systems are just to get your feet planted so you can get an idea of where to go, especially if you're just starting out, all right? But by all means, once you start to get a hang of it, readjust it to your liking. All right, awesome. So now that we got the intro down, let's move on to the tutorial. Alright guys, so this is the chorus idea that I have. Na 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 na. Alright, so initially I was thinking of just having one half have a specific melody and rhythm and the second slightly changing, but I decided to just loop it over twice. All right, and now I'm gonna go into the verse and I'm gonna lay down a rhythm idea / melody idea for the verse. All right, and let's play around with that and see what happens. Okay. Okay, so here's a melody idea. Now, before showing you guys that, you could also turn off the countdown before recording, all right, if it gets annoying sometimes, because honestly, for me, it does, right? And it's found it really useful sometimes just not have a countdown. But either way. Na 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 na. All right, so that's the idea. Now, I'm slightly off beat, off rhythm here, but that's completely fine. If you're recording yourself and it sounds bad, but that's completely fine. These are just rough drafts and rough ideas, all right, to give us a sense of direction. So we're basically orchestrating an entire song at once right now, okay? And I want to add another switch up to the verse, right? So we can keep the listeners engaged, because that's one of the most important things, all right? When trying to make music, you want the person listening to stay engaged, okay? So I'm going to record a different melodic idea. And let's go for it, all right? Wait. Yeah, got no 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 no. All right, so yeah, okay, so that's gonna be the verse, the first verse. All right, like I said, we're basically orchestrating an entire song from right off the bat. All right, to help us give it a sense of direction where to go. So I'm gonna take this right here at the end. I'm gonna loop this one twice. All right, so we're gonna get the same pattern right here for 16 bars, and then another 16 bars. We're gonna get the switch up. Right, right. Before going back to the chorus. Now, like I said earlier, guys, if you guys are getting confused between the number of bars, I'll say this again. Okay, this is technically 16 bars because we're in double time. But if you count the individual bars right here, it'll add up to 32. All right, because we're in double time. Two of these is really just one. All right, so if we're gonna use the system of actually counting the individual bars, we're at 32 bars. If we're considering the fact that we're in double time, we're in 16 bars. All right, now 16 bars, that's the length, that's the standard for most songs, especially hip-hop songs. All right, I would suggest actually just following the standard and actually following this rule for a little while, and then once you get the hang of it, then you can break the rule. All right, so then either way, now we kind of have an idea of how the chorus is going to sound, which is right here, how the verse is going to go, and we're going to come back to the chorus again, and then we're going to add a second verse. All right, we'll probably switch stuff up a little bit, and then we're going to create an outro. All right, and we even have an intro right here. Now the intro part, no vocals, we'll add instruments there. Right, so you can already see that we're basically planning everything out like a director in a film. All right, and now I'm going to record the switch up for the second verse right here, and I use this thing right here as a measurement tool, but yeah, okay. Anyways, guys, I'm just gonna record myself right now. Alright, guys, so I'm moving on to the second verse, and I'm gonna add the switch up, and I'm gonna take this measuring tool thing that I have right here. Alright, I know this is one verse in length. I'm just gonna add it right here. Alright, I'm gonna add the chorus at the end. Alright, so I just need to fill up the space right here. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay, guys, so I have the second verse right here. No, 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 no. Okay, so let me just add this. When creating a melody rhythm, one that's new, right? Take a listen to the one that was going on before it, so you can ensure that there's a smooth transition. All right. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Wanna let her ride, no neck back. Down a ladder, na 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 na. Say the ladder rise and lay back. We don't let the lies and lay there. Alright guys, so I got myself the second verse right here, alright, and I'm going to show it to you guys. Now before I play it, I want to add this. When creating a new melody or a new rhythm, always take a listen to what's going on before it so you can ensure that there's a smooth transition, alright? But anyways, let's go. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Wanna let her ride, no neighbor. Down a ladder, na 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 na. Say the ladder rise and lay back. We don't let the lies and lay there. Alright, so the transitions aren't 100% perfect, but they're not fixable. But anyways, we don't need to worry about making things perfect right now, okay? So we're going to take this, I'm going to add it right there at the end. Right. So wait, let me just show you how I did that thing, okay? Because you might not know. Go right here, highlight, Control B, all right? B for boy, right there. You can latch paste, but either way. Yep. So we have the entire song mapped out, all right? The next step is to start writing down the lyrics. Alright guys, so on to the next part, and this is the part where we're going to write down the lyrics, right? The actual words for each section of the song right here, alright? So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to open up the mixer track, go to the main bus, right, the main mixer right here, the master, go down to the last slot, and open up Fruity Notebook, right? It's a digital notebook, that's all it is, alright? And one thing I like to do, all right, and I highly recommend this, especially if you're just starting out and if you're just getting into songwriting, okay, is to use a random word generator right here, just randomwordgenerator.com, right? And it'll give you some words, try and play around with those, and as well as a rhyme zone dictionary right here, so you can get some rhymes, okay? So I'm going to write down the lyrics for each section. When I'm done, I'm going to come back, all right? Now, this part may take a while, all right? It could take up to a few minutes, hours, or even days, all right? Anyways, let's go. Okay, guys, so I wrote down the lyrics and I recorded the vocals right here. So I'm going to show you guys before how it was, the initial idea that we had. Na 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 na. Okay? And with the lyrics, hanging right around, cut it loose. Say you wanna go, make your move. Trying to, all right. And for the verse right here, everything I see is nothing new. Get it past, never stop, ever right. Okay, so the point is, we have all the lyrics. We started off with the rhythm and the melody. Now we have the lyrics. Okay. So once we record and we have a clean vocal take, the next step would be to start editing the lyrics, all right? So, okay guys, so we're moving on to the next stage of the tutorial, which is the vocal editing stage. To edit the vocals, go select the vocal you'd like to edit on the top left corner, left click, pitch correct sample. Now, the pitch correction sample or the pitch correction VST tool right here allows us to tune our vocals to a specific key, all right? Specific notes as well. Now, an auto-tune plugin is basically a pitch correction plugin, but it just does the tuning automatically. Here what we're doing is we're tuning the vocals manually. So the first thing you'll notice is that, if I just increase this right here, is that the notes, or should I say, the vocals are in between two different notes. Now we don't want that, so what we're going to do is we're going to go right here to the center knob. We're going to turn it all the way up. Now what happened is that it locked each and every single note or pitch that I sang onto a specific note right here, okay? Let's play around with the variation and the transition before shifting stuff over here, all right? Variation. Now what is the variation? The variation knob basically affects the pitch fluctuation that we're singing in, all right? Now the best way for me to show you is to demonstrate. If I take the knob and exaggerate the effect by dragging it all the way down. Hanging right around, cut it loose. Say you wanna go. Okay, the pitch sounds pretty stiff and pretty monotone. If we take the variation and increase it all the way up, hanging right around, cut it loose. The vocals sound really wobbly and unstable. Okay, I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna find somewhere in the middle. So you want to readjust this to your liking. All right, whatever sounds best to your ear. Now the transition, let me turn it all the way down. Hanging right around, cut it loose. Say you want. Right, I'm gonna turn it all the way up. Hanging right around, cut it loose. Say you wanna go, make a move. Now I don't hear much of a difference, but what I do hear is that when I take the transition, I increase the knob all the way. It makes the vocal sound a little bit more robotic. It has that robot auto-tune sound effect, right? And essentially that's how you get it. Hanging right around, cut it loose. Say, right. Hanging right around, cut it loose. Right. The reason why the effect isn't as exaggerated as before is because the notes aren't, there's not a lot of dynamic range in terms of the pitch, okay? So either way. Now, before going into the technicalities of the different techniques we can use to clean the vocal up, the first thing we should do is we should identify the motif or the riff that we're trying to go for here, okay? Now, based on how your style is, how you approach, it'll be completely different from what you see right here, okay? But I want to first identify a common, consistent note. And I can already tell by looking that it seems to be the A sharp note right here, okay? It seems to be like a resting place at the end of each section or motif being played, right? This seems to be the main place, and every other note seems to just dance around this. Hanging right around, cut it loose. Say you wanna go, make a move. Trying to put in work, make it through. Okay, so now my ear caught that it sounded a bit weird, this part right here, so I'm gonna play around with it. Trying to put in work, make it through. Trying to put in work, make it through. Trying to put in work, make it through. Doing what you can, what you do. Work, make it through. Trying to put in work, make it through. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to keep listening to this and play around with the different melodic ideas, but keep the center or the main resting note. For example, don't change any pitch or any vocals that land on A sharp. All right, everything else you can move around, play around, but this right here is our center point. It's our consistent melody that we keep on here. Okay, we're gonna keep that. In fact, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the notes right here in the Fruity Notebook, and we're gonna write that down. Okay, so once we have a melodic idea, a riff that we like, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, for example, we're gonna use the technical tools here. One of which is, for example, if I double left click, I can readjust the volume of an individual word or note. I can also readjust the pitch fluctuation, the fade in and the fade out, right? The volume's right here. Okay, so let's say you did the editing, you like how everything sounds, go up here, left click, this arrow button right here, left click and hold, and then just drag it. And there, just like that, you have yourself an edited vocal, right? Now, you want to do the same thing for the verse and yeah, all the other vocals as well. Including the backing tracks, or should I say, the vocal layers and the ad-libs. Now, mind you, we didn't add any vocal layers, all right? Should have this mentioned in the previous parts, but oh well. Okay, we can always add the vocal layers later when we lay down some chords and stuff like that, all right? But you should always aim to not just have one vocal recording. Always stack your vocals on top of each other, right? That's what the professionals do as well. This sounds really good and makes everything sound much better. And it makes the vocal sound thicker. So either way, that was it for the vocal editing. That's how you edit your vocals in FL Studio, a simple way to do it. Moving on.